Alexis Hudson clutched her acceptance letter as she stepped off the transport ship. The massive doors of the Galactic Military Academy loomed before her. Hundreds of aliens from across the galaxy moved around her, most of them taller, stronger, or faster than any human could ever be. Another human, a tall blue-skinned cadet with 4 arms, whispered to his friend as they passed. "I thought they would have learned by now." Alexis pretended not to hear. She had prepared for this. Humans were still new to the galactic community. Most alien species thought humans were too weak, too slow, and too fragile to serve in leadership roles. But Alexis was determined to prove them wrong. She followed the crowd into the massive main hall. The ceiling stretched so high it disappeared into shadows. Banners from 100 worlds hung from the walls. Alexis found her place in line for registration, standing behind a creature that looked like a walking tree, and in front of something that seemed to be made entirely of shimmering gas. Hudson, Alexis, Earth. The registration officer didn't look up from his screen. Section 12, Bunk 47. Team assignments tomorrow at 800. Don't be late. The next morning, Alexis arrived at the assignment hall early. 500 new cadets gathered before a raised platform where Academy officers stood. Admiral Krell, the Academy commander, stepped forward. His scaled skin reflected the bright lights. "Welcome to the Galactic Military Academy," his voice boomed. "Today begins the year-long Tactical Command Challenge. Each of you will be assigned to teams based on your entrance scores and physical capabilities." Alexis shifted nervously. Her scores were excellent by human standards, but average compared to species with natural advantages. Team captains will select their members in order of rank. Admiral Krell continued. "The highest-scoring cadets will choose first." A tall, reptilian cadet named Verok was called first. His entrance scores were perfect. One by one, the top-ranked cadets formed their teams, selecting the strongest, fastest, and smartest from the remaining pool. Hours passed. The crowd thinned. Alexis stood straighter as more and more cadets were chosen. Soon only 20 remained, then 15, then 10. "This is unusual," an instructor whispered to Admiral Krell. "The human should have been selected by now." Admiral Krell smiled thinly. Perhaps the team captains understand what humans lack. Finally, only 5 cadets remained. Alexis, a small Mercury-born engineer named Kip, a massive Taurian with anger issues, a plant-like Viridian who moved slowly, and another human who had failed the physical benchmarks. "Hudson," Admiral Krell called. "As the last remaining candidate with command qualifications, you will captain the final team." Whispers and laughs spread through the hall. Alexis realized what had happened. The Academy had deliberately placed her last in the selection order. Every captain had been told to avoid choosing humans. Now she was stuck with the leftovers that no one else wanted. "Your team's training vessel is the GSV Horizon," Admiral Krell said, reading from his tablet. "Bay 12. Alexis knew what that meant. The oldest, most outdated ship in the training fleet. "Good luck, Hudson," Krell said with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "You'll need it." As the assembly ended, Alexis approached her new team. They looked as dejected as she felt. "I'm Alexis Hudson," she said, extending her hand to the Taurian. "Looks like we're a team now." The Taurian glared at her hand. "They put us together because they think we'll fail." "Maybe," Alexis said. "Or maybe they just gave us the freedom to prove them wrong." The small Mercurian engineer looked up. "You think we can?" Alexis smiled. For the first time, she noticed something in her teammates' eyes beyond disappointment. There was determination there, and maybe a little hope. "I know we can," she said, "because they think we can't. And that's their biggest mistake." Alexis led her new team to Bay 12. The walk was long and silent. None of them seemed eager to talk. When they arrived, they found an old ship that looked like it belonged in a museum. "This is the Horizon." The small Mercurian engineer frowned. "I've seen better ships in scrapyards." "It's what we've got," Alexis said. "Let's see what we're working with." They entered the ship. The lights flickered as they walked through narrow hallways. Old control panels lined the walls. The bridge was small compared to newer vessels, with just 6 stations arranged in a circle. "I think we should introduce ourselves properly," Alexis said. "I'm Alexis Hudson from Earth. I specialized in tactical command and crisis management." The Mercurian stepped forward. He was only about 3 feet tall, with metallic skin that shimmered under the lights. "I'm Kip. I'm an engineer from the Mercury colonies. They say I'm too small to reach important systems in emergency situations." He shrugged. "But I can fit into spaces no one else can." The massive Taurian snorted. He was 7 feet tall with thick arms and a bull-like face. "Dax, they say I have anger issues, but I've never broken anything I didn't mean to break." The Viridian moved slowly forward. Her skin was green with leaf-like patterns. "I am Zora. I photosynthesize instead of eating like you do. They say I'm too slow for combat situations, but I can sense energy patterns others cannot." The other human was a young woman with dark hair and determined eyes. Nina Rodriguez. Failed physical benchmarks twice because they were designed for species 3 times stronger than humans. But I can adapt to changing situations faster than anyone. The last member of the team had pale blue skin that seemed to ripple with emotion. Lauren, from Aquaria. They say my empathic abilities make me too sensitive for military service, but I can read intentions better than any scanner. A man stood in the doorway behind them. Garrett Wells. Earth. They say my tactical approaches are too unconventional. He stepped onto the bridge. But conventional tactics only work against conventional enemies. Alexis nodded. "That makes 7. A full team." They spent the rest of the day exploring their ship. It was old, but Kip found that many systems could be upgraded. Zor identified energy inefficiencies that could be corrected. Dax discovered that the manual controls responded well to his strength. Nina found supply inventories that had been forgotten. Lauren sensed areas where the crew would function best. Garrett began plotting unconventional uses for the ship's outdated systems. That evening, they gathered on the bridge. "Everyone else sees us as rejects," Alexis said. "But I see something different. Kip, you can access systems others can't reach. Zora, your energy sensing is unique. Dax, your strength gives us options others don't have. Nina, your adaptability is exactly what we need. Lauren, your empathy gives us insights no scanner could provide. And Garrett, your unconventional thinking will keep our enemies guessing." "That sounds nice," Dax rumbled. "But nice words don't win competitions." "No," Alexis agreed. "But the right team does. The Academy expects us to fail because they've only ever valued one kind of strength. We have different strengths. And together, we're going to show them what that really means. We need a better name than Horizon," Kip said. "This ship isn't about looking to the horizon. It's about being the ones no one saw coming." "The underdog," Nina suggested. "That's what humans call someone everyone expects to lose." "The underdog," Alexis repeated, looking around at her unlikely crew. "I like it." For the first time since arriving at the Academy, she felt a spark of real hope. They weren't the team anyone would have chosen, but maybe they were exactly the team that was needed. The first training exercise came 3 days later. All teams gathered in the simulation hall. Varrock's team arrived in matching uniforms with their ship's emblem displayed proudly. Other teams looked equally prepared. Alexis and her team wore standard Academy uniforms, still waiting for their custom patches to arrive. Admiral Krell stood on the raised platform. "Today's exercise is simple. Navigate your ship through an asteroid field while defending against enemy fire. Top 3 teams advance to the next round." Instructor Vex, a thin alien with gray skin, approached Alexis. "Team Underdog," he said with a smirk. "You'll be in Simulation Pod 5. Pod 5 was known for glitching. Alexis saw it in her teammates' faces. They knew it too. Good luck, Varrock said as he passed them. Try not to crash in the first minute. The teams entered their pods. Inside, the simulator created a perfect replica of their ship's bridge. Alexis took the captain's chair. Kit went to engineering, Zora to sensors, Dax to defense, Nina to navigation, Lauren to communications, and Garrett to tactical. Ready? Alexis asked. This is rigged against us, Dax growled. Then we'll just have to be better than they expect, Alexis replied. The simulation began. An asteroid field appeared on their screens. Enemy ships lurked between the rocks. The underdog's engines hummed as Nina guided them forward. First enemy approaching, Garrett called out. Evasive maneuvers, Alexis ordered. Nina tried to turn the ship, but the controls responded slowly. The simulator's giving us lag, she complained. Work with it, Alexis said. Anticipate the delay. Zora's voice was calm. Energy spike from the left. They're charging weapons. Shields, Alexis ordered. Dax pushed the shield controls. The ship's defenses flickered to life just as the enemy fired. The impact shook their simulator. Shields at 60%, Dax reported. We need more power, Alexis said. Kip's small hands moved quickly across his console, rerouting power from unused systems. The ship moved deeper into the asteroid field. Other teams zoomed past them, their newer ships faster and more responsive. We need a different approach, Alexis said. Garrett, any ideas? Garrett studied the tactical display. The asteroids. They're interfering with sensors. If we stay close to them, we'll be harder to track. That's risky, Nina said. We're already in last place, Alexis pointed out. Nina, take us closer to the larger asteroids. Zora, can you sense the enemy ships through the interference? Yes, Zora said. Their energy signatures are distinct from the asteroids. Lauren, can you predict their attack patterns? Lauren closed her eyes. They're programmed to be aggressive. They target ships they consider vulnerable. Then let's look vulnerable, Alexis said. Dax, power down shields for 10 seconds. That's crazy, Dax protested. Trust me, Alexis insisted. The team followed her orders. 3 enemy ships immediately changed course to attack the seemingly helpless underdog. Now, Alexis called. Dax slammed the shield controls back on. Kip diverted all power to defenses. The enemy ships fired, expecting to destroy the underdog, but their shots bounced off the suddenly reinforced shields. They're clustered together, Garrett said. One good shot could take out all 3. Fire, Alexis ordered. The underdog's old weapons weren't as powerful as newer models, but with all 3 enemy ships so close together, they didn't need to be. The blast took out all 3 targets at once. Path clear, Nina reported. They continued through the asteroid field, using the rocks as cover and the enemy's aggression against them. When the simulation ended, the underdog had finished 4th, just 1 place short of advancing. Not bad, Instructor Vex admitted grudgingly, but not good enough. As they left the simulation pod, Varrock and his team were celebrating their first-place finish. Looks like the rejects almost made it, Varrock said. Too bad, almost doesn't count. We'll see you in the next round, Alexis promised. How? Varrock laughed. You didn't qualify. Admiral Krell approached. Actually, Team Cerulean has been disqualified for using unauthorized system modifications. Team Underdog will advance in their place. Alexis couldn't hide her smile. Looks like we'll see you sooner than you thought. That evening, Alexis gathered her team in the Underdog's small mess hall. The walls were scratched metal, and the lights flickered occasionally. It wasn't fancy, but it was becoming home. We barely made it through today, she said. Standard training isn't working for us. We need to try something different. Different how? Nina asked. Instead of trying to be what the Academy wants, we need to use what makes us unique, Alexis explained. Kip, you're too small for standard engineering protocols, but you can reach places others can't. Kip nodded slowly. There are maintenance tunnels all over the ship. No one else on any team can fit through them. Exactly, Alexis said. Zora, your photosynthesis makes you slower in movement, but gives you unique sensing abilities. Zora's leaf-like skin rippled. I can detect energy patterns before they register on instruments. Dax, your strength isn't just for combat. It gives you control in high-pressure situations. The Taurian flexed his massive hands. I can make manual adjustments that would require machinery for others. Alexis turned to Nina. Your human adaptability lets you change tactics faster than any other species. And Lauren's empathy gives us insight into enemy intentions, Garrett added, while my unconventional tactics keep us unpredictable. Starting tomorrow, we train to our strengths, Alexis said, not the Academy standards. For the next week, they created new training routines. Kit practiced moving through the ship's smallest spaces, learning every shortcut. Zora meditated near the engine core, learning to sense the smallest energy fluctuations. Dax trained in precision control rather than just brute force. Nina ran adaptive scenarios, changing plans mid-execution. Lauren practiced reading emotional patterns from greater distances. Garrett developed tactics that used their unique abilities together. The day before the next competition, they were running a practice drill when emergency alarms blared through the academy. All cadets to simulation halls immediately, Admiral Krell's voice announced over the speakers. This is not a drill. They rushed to Simulation Hall B. Other teams were already there. On the main screen, a small transport ship was trapped in an asteroid storm, its engines failing. This is the civilian transport Stardust, Admiral Krell explained. They've lost engine power in the Cirrus asteroid belt. Academy rescue ships are an hour away. We're linking your simulators to remote pilot their emergency systems. Sir, Veruk stepped forward. My team is ready. Your ship's too large to maneuver through that debris field, Instructor Vex said. We need something smaller. Alexis looked at the screen. The transport was surrounded by spinning rocks. A large ship would never make it through. The underdog could fit, she said. Admiral Krell frowned. That old ship doesn't have the power to tow them out. We don't need to tow them, Alexis said. We just need to repair their engines. The Admiral hesitated, then nodded. Very well. Team Underdog, take your stations. They ran to their simulation pod. As the systems connected to the remote piloting network, Nina carefully guided their ship through the asteroid field. The debris was worse than in training, rocks spinning in unpredictable patterns. There's a gap in their hull, Zora reported, sensing the energy disruption. That's why their engines failed. We need to get someone on board to fix it, Kip said. Alexis looked at her team. Kip, you're the only one who can fit through that debris field in a spacesuit. Can you make the repair? The small Mercurian swallowed hard but nodded. I'll need Dax to hold the airlock steady while I cross. Lauren, monitor the passengers. Let us know if panic rises, Alexis ordered. Garrett, find us a safe exit route. They positioned the underdog alongside the damaged transport. Dax held the manual controls with perfect steadiness as Kip crossed the short distance in his spacesuit. The Mercurian's small size allowed him to slip through gaps in the debris that would have crushed a larger being. Inside the transport, Kip found the damaged engine coupling and repaired it using parts from his suit. The transport's engines hummed back to life, just as a large asteroid tumbled toward them. Evasive action, Alexis called. Nina guided both ships through the debris field, following Garrett's unconventional but effective escape route. When they reached clear space, cheers erupted in the simulation hall. Admiral Krell's face showed genuine surprise. Well done, Team Underdog. The civilian transport crew sends their thanks. As they exited the simulator, other cadets looked at them with new respect. Even Veruk seemed thoughtful rather than mocking. Maybe they're not complete rejects after all, someone whispered. Alexis smiled at her team. No, she said. We're just getting started. News of the rescue spread quickly through the academy. Team Underdog received nods in the hallways where before there had been only sneers. Alexis was pleased, but she knew better than to think one success would change everything. The semifinals are in 3 days, she reminded her team during breakfast, and we'll be facing the top teams, including Virok's team, Garrett said, studying tactical reports on his tablet. They've won every competition by a wide margin. We should practice the new maneuvers again today, Nina suggested. I still think we can improve our response time. Alexis nodded. Let's meet at the ship in 1 hour. When they arrived at Bay 12, something felt wrong. Lauren paused at the entrance, her blue skin rippling with concern. What is it? Alexis asked. Anger. Satisfaction. Someone was here, and they weren't friendly, Lauren said. They entered the Underdog cautiously. At first, everything looked normal. But when Kip tried to start the pre-flight checks, nothing happened. Power's completely dead, he said, frowning. That's not possible. I checked everything yesterday. The small Mercurian opened an access panel and crawled inside. Minutes later, his voice came through the comm system, tight with anger. Someone cut the main power couplings, and the backups, and the emergency systems. It would take days to repair all this damage normally. Zora placed her hand on the wall. The energy patterns are wrong. This was done recently, within the last 2 hours. It was Virok. Dax growled. I'm going to do nothing. Alexis interrupted. We have no proof. We should report this, Nina said. Garrett shook his head. They'll say we're making excuses, or that humans don't know how to maintain their ships. Alexis looked at the time. The semifinal starts in 18 hours. If we report this, we'll be disqualified for not being ready. So we give up? Dax asked, his voice rising. No, Alexis said firmly. We fix it ourselves. Kip emerged from the access panel, his metallic skin smudged with grease. It would take a normal repair crew 3 days. Even with all of us working, it might be impossible. Then we'll do the impossible, Alexis said, because that's what Team Underdog does. They worked through the night. Kip crawled through spaces no one else could reach, reconnecting damaged systems. Zora sensed where energy should flow, guiding their repairs. Dax used his strength to hold heavy components in place. Nina adapted standard repair protocols to their unique situation. Lauren monitored the team's fatigue, ensuring no one made dangerous mistakes. Garrett found unconventional ways to bypass damaged systems. As the competition time approached, they were still working. 1 hour left, Alexis announced, her voice hoarse from tiredness. The primary systems are online, Kip reported, but we had to bypass several safety protocols. What does that mean for us? Alexis asked. It means we'll have power surges, Zora said. The energy flow will be unpredictable. Can we fly? Alexis asked. Yes, Kip said, but the ship will handle differently. Different might be good, Garrett said thoughtfully. If we can predict the surges but our opponents can't. They arrived at the competition with minutes to spare. Admiral Krell raised an eyebrow at their disheveled appearance. We were concerned you wouldn't make it, he said. We had some unexpected maintenance issues, Alexis replied, meeting his eyes. How unfortunate, Virok said from nearby, his scale-covered face expressionless. The semifinal challenge was announced. Navigate through a nebula while protecting civilian ships from raiders. As the teams entered their simulation pods, Alexis noticed Virok looking confident. He thinks our ship is crippled, she whispered to her team. He doesn't know what we've done to compensate. Inside the simulator, they took their positions. The Underdog systems flickered as the first power surge hit. Use it, Alexis ordered. Zora, predict the next surge. Garrett, time our maneuvers to match them. As they entered the nebula, their ship's unpredictable power surges became an advantage. The raiders, programmed to anticipate normal ship behavior, couldn't predict their movements. When a power surge hit weapon systems, Kip redirected it to shields, making them temporarily stronger than any other ship in the competition. When it was over, Team Underdog had scored higher than any team except Verox. "We're going to the finals," Nina said in disbelief. Alexis watched Verox's face as the scores were announced. His surprise was all the confirmation she needed. "And this time," she said, "we'll be ready for any surprises." With only 1 week until the finals, tension filled the Underdog. The team was practicing longer hours, pushing their limits. Success had changed them. They were no longer just trying to prove they belonged. Now they wanted to win. Again, Alexis ordered as they finished another simulated battle. "Our response time on the port shields is still slow." Dax slammed his fist on the console. "We've been at this for 6 hours. The systems are old. They can't react any faster." "Then we need to anticipate better," Alexis insisted. "Maybe we need a break," Nina suggested gently. "We're all tired." "The finals are in 7 days," Alexis reminded them. "Verox's team isn't taking breaks." "Verox's team has equipment that actually works," Kip muttered. Zora's normally calm voice was strained. "The energy in this room is chaotic. We need balance." "What we need is to be better," Alexis said. Lauren stepped forward, her blue skin pulsing with emotion. "What I sense is fear. Not from them." She pointed to the others. "From you, Alexis." The room went silent. Alexis felt her face flush. "I'm not afraid. I'm focused." "You're afraid to fail," Lauren said. "The weight of proving humans belong is crushing you." Alexis wanted to deny it, but couldn't find the words. Instead, she turned and left the bridge. She walked through the ship's corridors, eventually finding herself in the small observation deck. Through the viewport, she could see stars and the curve of the Academy's orbital station. So small against the vastness of space, like humans in the galactic community. "Mind if I join you?" Alexis turned to see an older woman in an instructor's uniform. She had short gray hair and kind eyes. "Commander Hayes," Alexis said, recognizing her from tactical classes. "I was just taking a moment to think." "Sometimes that's the most important part of leadership," Commander Hayes said, sitting beside her. "Knowing when to step back and reflect." "I thought you'd tell me to get back to work," Alexis admitted. "Is that what you expect from all instructors? Most of them seem to want us to fail. Especially me." Commander Hayes nodded. "Did you know I was on the committee that reviewed your application?" Alexis felt her stomach tighten. "No." There was a debate. Some thought allowing humans into command tracks was premature. Others thought it would be useful to have an example of human limitations. "So I was admitted to fail," Alexis said bitterly. "To prove humans don't belong." "Perhaps some hoped for that," Commander Hayes said. "But others, like me, saw something in your application that had nothing to do with being human. We saw leadership potential. Then why put me last in the selection order? Why give me the worst ship and team?" "Those decisions weren't mine," Commander Hayes said. "But let me ask you, would you trade your team now for any other?" Alexis thought about Kip's brilliance, Zora's insights, Dax's strength, Nina's adaptability, Lauren's empathy, and Garrett's creativity. "No," she admitted. "They're exactly who I need." "Sometimes what looks like a disadvantage becomes your greatest strength," Commander Hayes said. "Your team works because you all know what it's like to be underestimated." Alexis considered this. "They're fighting with me right now. I've been pushing too hard." "Leadership isn't about never making mistakes," Commander Hayes said. "It's about how you respond to them." After Commander Hayes left, Alexis returned to the bridge. Her team was still there, working quietly. "I'm sorry," she said. "Lauren was right. I've been afraid. Not just of failing, but of letting you all down." "We're all afraid," Nina said. "But we're stronger together." "We should rest," Alexis decided. "Start fresh tomorrow." As they prepared to leave, Alexis noticed a small package by the door. Inside was a data chip with a note. Thought you might find this useful. CH. Kip examined the chip. These are specs for Verok's ship, all its capabilities and weaknesses. Commander Hayes, Alexis realized. She's helping us. For the first time in days, the team smiled. Perhaps they weren't as alone as they thought. The day of the finals arrived. Teams gathered in the main hall where Admiral Krell stood on the elevated platform. Behind him, a massive screen displayed the competition standings, with Verok's team at the top and Team Underdog in second place. Today's final challenge is different, Admiral Krell announced. It will test not just your combat skills, but your judgment and leadership. The screen changed to show a star system with multiple planets. This is the Altair system, currently in dispute between two galactic powers. Your mission has two objectives: secure the system militarily and prevent diplomatic breakdown. Both are equally important. Whispers spread through the crowd. Previous competitions had focused only on military victory. This will be a 3-day simulation, Admiral Krell continued. Your actions will have lasting consequences from day to day. May the best team win. As they walked to their simulation pods, Verok approached Alexis. Interesting challenge, he said. Too bad diplomacy isn't a human strength. Don't worry about us, Alexis replied. Focus on yourself. Inside their pod, the team prepared for the simulation. The Underdog systems came online, now fully repaired thanks to Commander Hayes' help. Remember what we practiced, Alexis said. This isn't just about fighting. The simulation began. Their ships appeared in the Altair system alongside 5 other finalist teams. Immediately, Verok's team moved to secure the central planet, establishing military dominance. They're ignoring the diplomatic objective, Garrett observed. That's our opening, Alexis decided. Nina, set course for the second planet. Lauren, scan for emotional signatures from the inhabitants. For the first day of the simulation, they focused on building relationships with the alien species in the system while maintaining defensive positions. Verok's team gained military points by destroying enemy ships, but the Underdog gained diplomatic points by preventing conflicts. On the second day, a crisis emerged. One planet threatened to attack another over resource disputes. If they fight, the whole system will destabilize, Nina warned. Lauren, what are you sensing? Alexis asked. Fear on both sides, Lauren said. They each think the other will strike first. Alexis made a decision. We'll position ourselves between them, not as a threat, but as a shield for both. That's risky, Dax warned. If either side fires, we'll take the hit. Sometimes leadership means putting yourself in harm's way, Alexis said. They positioned the Underdog between the warring planets. For tense hours, they maintained their position, using Lauren's empathic abilities to sense intentions and Zora's energy detection to monitor weapons. By the third day, they had established peace between the planets. Their diplomatic score was the highest in the competition, but Verok's team still led in military points. Then the final challenge appeared. A massive enemy fleet entered the system. All teams were called to defend against this common threat. This is it, Alexis said. All teams will fight independently. Wait, Garrett said, studying the tactical display. We can't win this way. The enemy fleet is too large. What do you suggest? Alexis asked. We need to coordinate with the other teams, even with Verok. It was a radical idea. No team had ever suggested collaboration in the finals. Lauren, open a channel to all teams, Alexis ordered. This is Alexis Hudson of Team Underdog. The enemy fleet outnumbers us all. We propose a coordinated defense. Silence followed. Then Verok's voice came through. Why should we follow your plan? We're winning. Because alone, we all lose, Alexis said simply. Together, we have a chance. The simulation paused unexpectedly. Admiral Krell's voice came over the comm. Team Underdog, explain your actions. This is a competition, not a cooperative exercise. Alexis took a deep breath. Sir, the mission was to secure the system and maintain diplomatic relations. Sometimes that means putting aside competition for the greater good. Interesting interpretation, Admiral Krell said. The simulation remained paused. Alexis looked at her team. Win or lose, they had done what they believed was right. What happens now? Nana asked. Now, Alexis said, we find out if the Academy values real leadership or just following the rules. The simulation room was silent. All teams waited for Admiral Krell's decision. Alexis stood firm, though her heart raced. Resume simulation. Admiral Krell finally said, let's see where this leads. The tactical display came back to life. Varrock's voice broke the silence. This doesn't mean I agree with you, Hudson, but I'm willing to listen. For the next hour, the teams coordinated their defense. The underdog's unique abilities became central to their strategy. Zora sensed enemy movements before they appeared on scanners. Kip found ways to link their communication systems for better coordination. Dax's precise control of defensive systems protected smaller ships. Nina adapted their formations as the battle evolved. Lauren monitored allied ships to prevent friendly fire incidents. Garrett created unpredictable attack patterns that confused the enemy. Varrock's team provided the firepower they lacked. Other teams filled different roles. Together, they formed a defense that no single team could have managed alone. When the simulation ended, the enemy fleet had been defeated with minimal losses. The diplomatic agreements remained intact. The Altair system was secure. Admiral Krell's face appeared on their screens. All teams report to the main hall immediately. They gathered before the platform where the Academy leaders stood in a row. Their faces were unreadable. Today we witnessed something unprecedented, Admiral Krell began. Team Underdog chose cooperation over competition. This was not part of the expected protocol. Alexis felt her teammates tense beside her. By strict interpretation of the rules, Admiral Krell continued, this action should result in disqualification. Varrock stepped forward. Sir, if I may, while I don't often agree with Cadet Hudson's methods, her strategy was sound. We would have all failed against that fleet if we had fought separately. Are you defending Team Underdog, Cadet Varrock? Admiral Krell asked, surprised. I'm acknowledging effective tactics, sir, Varrock replied. Even when they don't follow convention. Commander Hayes moved forward on the platform. The purpose of this academy is to train leaders who can protect the galaxy. Sometimes that requires thinking beyond established protocols. Admiral Krell was quiet for a long moment. The judges have reached a decision. This year's Tactical Command Challenge will have two winners, Team Varrock for highest combat efficiency and Team Underdog for innovative leadership and diplomatic success. The hall erupted in applause. Alexis could hardly believe what she was hearing. They had won. Not just survived, but won. Additionally, Admiral Krell continued when the noise died down. Based on the results of this year's challenge, the Academy will be implementing new training protocols that emphasize diverse approaches to problem solving. As the ceremony ended, Varrock approached Alexis. Don't think this means we're friends now, Hudson. Wouldn't dream of it, Alexis replied with a smile. But, Varrock added, you've earned your place here. 2 weeks later, Team Underdog gathered on their ship. No longer students, they now wore the insignia of Academy graduates. I just got our assignment, Alexis announced. We're being kept together as a special tactical unit aboard the exploration vessel Horizon. They renamed our old ship, Kip asked. No, Commander Hayes said, entering the bridge. They're giving you a new one. I'll be your supervising officer. Through the viewport, they could see a sleek new ship docking alongside their old one. On its hull was painted GSV Horizon, with Underdog Unit beneath it. The Academy realized something important from watching you, Commander Hayes explained. Strength comes in many forms, and humanity's greatest contribution to the galaxy might be seeing potential where others see only flaws. Alexis looked at her team. no longer rejects, but pioneers. Ready for our first real mission. Dax grinned. As long as it's challenging. With this team, Zora said, there is nothing we cannot face. As they prepared to board their new ship, Alexis thought about how far they had come. From last place to champions. From outcasts to a model for future teams. The human girl they had forced into last place had indeed assembled the strongest team the Academy had ever seen. And this was just the beginning.